All right, this is the Conspiracy Broadcasting Network, the CBN. This is vlog 117. We're going over an update on Neighbor. So I decided that I was going to lay low and see what happens, basically. After speaking with the magistrate, apparently you're not allowed to make any appointments with the magistrate in this state. You have to talk to the sergeant. And I'm going to upload all these conversations I've had addressing second-degree stalking, harassment, and trespassing. Last year preceding my arrest, you'll notice that it's just nonstop entropy. It's a carnival, and this is how the conspiracy works. It's always inundating somebody with problems. It's always creating entropy. It's always a soap opera. That's how this works. That's how the white-collar thugs operate at the level of counterintelligence. That's how the intelligence community operates. It's let's make sure he's bombarded with issues and problems, and it's just constant chaos and entropy. Okay, and so here we're going to talk about, I believe, vlog 114, and it was series D as in Delta. Now, this is almost a week later, and we're going to see firsthand what his dog is doing. So I'm going to do a screen share here. All right, and so this is, I chose to blank out some of my other cameras, and then I also chose to only go through and play back, if you will, my select cameras in the area I already know that the dog goes through because it's his regular pattern. Now, you have to remember that my concern here is not like the dog has been doing this recently. I've been here 2.5 years, and this dog has been here over a year now, well over a year. And this dog has been coming over and shitting regularly in the yard. He's been keeping the dog up near his front porch, and he'll let the dog out. And not only did he let the dog out today, but he made sure to let the dog out around this time. And you'll notice the time is 9 o'clock and it's close to 16. Okay, so he loves playing with the number 9, the number 16, as does the rest of, it appears, the community in the social circle in which I live. Okay, and so he's letting the dog out around this time. We know that it's his dog after I go and take static photos because his dog has giant turds because he's a larger dog, 70 plus pounds, but he also feeds his dog a green diet. Whatever is in the dog food is green. So I can go through my yard and know exactly what turds are his because all of his turds are green, literally green as in like greener than, like green as grass, basically. That's the color of his shit when it breaks open. Okay, and so there's numerous shits around his yard, 3-4 times a week, around my yard, 3-4 times a week. Okay, and I'm thinking about how many times my dogs gets out. There was a time, maybe once or twice a month, but there's been times where they haven't gotten out for months, but then they'll start getting out again and climbing. I got to rebuild, and they'll get out once or twice a month, but then it'll go number of months, 1-2 months without them getting out. And so he's trying to throw the defense. You can watch it and listen to it on 114 series Delta if you want to listen to what my neighbor had to say. It's the second time. I've had enough, but this is so you can see and appreciate what it is that the dog does. So I'm going to hit play here. It's in the top left where you're going to focus right here. You see him kind of scurry right there. I'm going to fast forward a little bit for us, and then you can see him about right here. Okay, in the bottom left. Okay, bottom left right here. So I don't want to really play it. He's just going to do his thing. And this is him literally doing the deed right there in the yard. Okay. That's him taking a shit in the yard. And then what happens is you'll see him actually be called. You could tell he was called because watch this. Pay attention to his body behavior. Pay attention to his behavior. See how he turned and ran like that? So Gary or somebody called him back. That's why he did a quick turnaround, quick 180. He touched it and then bolted. So somebody called him back. He's aware. Okay, and that's why I say this is why I know that the neighbor let him out around 9:15 so he can go shit and be at around 9:16. This is what I'm talking about. It's a whole timing deal, and in real time they listen to what I say right now, for example, and then they'll play off of it. What they've been doing is they'll wait for me to make these videos and these vlogs, and as I make them, they'll stop the behavior. They'll slow the behavior down for maybe a day or maybe a few hours, right? And they'll wait for me to get out of the house, and they'll stop the vehicular behavior. They'll stop the frequency. They'll wait for me, right? After all of this has gone on with the vlogs, and they'll act like they're just going to return back to normal. But then what they'll do is they'll turn it back up. Okay. And so they'll just play with your mind and put a toll on your mental state. Okay. And so that's just what his dog looks like. That's what his dog does. He's doing it 3-4 times a week. At this point, I've already mentioned enough's enough twice. Okay. And it's to a point of harassment. It's violation of public nuisance. And it's basically stalking, because I've had nothing but dramatic, cinematic problems with the neighbor regarding vehicle parking and all this other stuff. And this is textbook counterintelligence, textbook let's create entropy, let's create a soap opera, let's create subversion. I mean, just textbook, right? And so he feels he knows the police for some odd reason. They're throwing me under the bus regarding some type of acquisition of either HPV or something. And they know that they're linking me with people with STDs. They know this. I've been told this. I've been told it directly. And then what they're doing now is they're trying to throw me under the bus and do nothing but talk about it, and then try to press you about it at all times. At all times. It's about always keeping a thumb under you, and they drive you into the problem. And then what they do is they talk and work with the problem, just like the dog, right? He lets the dogs out. He knows that I'm going to probably do something with court. That's what we need to happen, so he can come back and forth to court. So we can create the problem where he has to travel back and forth to court, where he has to take his mind off of his work, and then he doesn't get the certification, or he has to take his mind and make mistakes in this court case and get information mixed up. And it's just non-stop fucking entropy. And this is the intelligence portion. Okay. So this concludes 1-1, I believe 7. And now we're going to go to Blizzard Entertainment and follow up with what I'm talking about regarding their quote unquote terms and conditions on profanity and inappropriate words, and how I'm being targeted through Blizzard for no specific reason that they were able to establish. And they just paint you a broad stroke suspension, and they can't tell you specifically what you did. And we're going to talk about that. And this is, again, anything I touch, anything I do, it's about creating confrontation. It's about counterintelligence. Oh, he likes to game now? Okay, well, we're going to target that. Oh, he likes this? We're going to make a history and some type of abrasive nature on that. Same thing. You like to mow the yard. So now when you mow the yard, you're going to think about my dog, the neighbor's dog, right? You're going to think about the neighbor's dog and how you have to go back and forth with the neighbor every time you're mowing the yard. It's the same thing. It's just nonstop. That's what happens when you create problems at all times. And the same thing with the whole STDs. They made sure that there's multiple nurses always inundating you with the problems, always inundating you with the drama. And it's always a revolving door. So if you get sick, then you go to the hospital, and guess what? You have to see nurses, and it reminds you of abuse and how they slandered you, how they are always transmitting things to you. It's just non-stop counterintelligence. This is the CBN 117.